Hello, everyone. My name is Aki, and this is my, let's call it a test. So what I'm going to do here is I am going to design a deck, an EDH deck based around the new member of the Umezawa family that was just spoiled yesterday, known as Satoru Umezawa. So many of you probably are not familiar with this. You're probably familiar with Scryfall, but not necessarily with all the functionality of Scryfall. So you get this deck editor if you pay them the one-time fee. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use that additional functionality to design this deck. So first, let's create hash brown cinnamon jank 35. Let's make this a little bit more memorable, or something that I can actually identify. The new Umezawa Cyan. And our commander will be Satoru Umezawa. Yes. So, okay. What can we do with this specific creature as commander? Now, first of all, I don't like the design of this card at all. Like it reads as a ninja commander, but then someone decided to tack on an extra ability. So let's take a look at this card. So it's blue and black, costs 1 colorless, 1 blue and 1 black. Legendary creature, human ninja. So whenever you activate a ninja ability, look at the top 3 cards of your library, put 1 of them into your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. This ability triggers only once each turn. Okay, so yeah, that's a powerful ability. Especially, and yeah, this would be fine. If that was it, I would like this card quite a bit. But then each creature card in your hand has ninjutsu, 2 blue and black. So why? I don't get it. But because that makes it that there's no reason to actually play ninjas with this card. So while it does read like a ninja lord, it's not a ninja lord. It's just whatever. But okay, I still want to design a deck around it. And while there's no specific reason to use ninjas, there's some ninjas that might be good with this one. Basically, any ninja that triggers on triggers on ninjutsu happening, but is there one? No, there's just some that. Okay, yeah, there's no reason to play ninjas with this card. So I think that's a utter failure. But okay, let's work with what we have. So what do we want with this card? So what we want, first of all, like any ninja deck, whatever the format, has been some ninja decks running around in modern and even legacy at various times, and EDH obviously. But so what we first want is we want creatures that are cheap and have evasion which we can play so that we can use ninjutsu with our other cards. So we need creatures with color identity, blue or black, within our commander's color identity. Let's start with CMC equals 1 and type creature. Not a good start. Is there anything we can use here? Not much, but then again, there's 297 creatures to go. Okay, Changeling Outcast, that's a good one. So because I'm using this deck editor, I can just, and I've chosen a specific deck. So, well, when I create a new deck, it automatically picks that one up, or it's then chosen as default. So I can just add cards directly from this listing. Just press A, just, you know, put your mouse on a card and press A, and it's added to the added to the deck. So what else? No, okay. This creature doesn't have this creature doesn't have any sort of evasion, which would be kind of important here. But this is one of my favorite cards, so I'm just going to put it into the deck. And sorry, this is my my preferences on my browser messed this up somewhat. So that's why the picture sometimes keeps jumping around. Where are all my creatures? Ah, there, Fairy Seer. That's a good one. And also there's immediately another fairy I want to use. Okay, so the problem with this one is obviously that I can't play this on turn 1, which is kind of a big deal here. But on the other hand, what I can do with this is I can return other creatures that have ETB abilities to my hand. So there's the possibility that I can abuse this ability in some other way. So I'll just put it in. Also, I do like using creatures that you never see otherwise. That's fun of Commander, right? Like it doesn't matter whether you that doesn't really matter whether you have a good deck or not. It's more important to have, you know, play things you like. That's why I added the Dagger Mystic also. Well, Death Touch is good in these situations, and we can get extra value out of the Fall Mighty Knight anyhow if we draw it later in the game. Gingerbrute, that's a good one. Although it does cost 1 extra, but we'll have to make do. What else? Here's a good one. Hypnotic Siren. Ah, Lantern Bearer. Let's see, what else? Island Walk. Is that good enough? Well, this is dependent on your meta. So obviously, if you're playing in a group where people play a lot of islands, play a lot of blue, this is a good one. So, well, let's put that in the deck. Obviously, sometimes using something like Island Walk can be problematic because there's just, even if they're playing blue, there might not be that many islands in their deck. Like, it's possible that they're just using duels that don't have the type in them. So you can always hope that they get a sock or maybe even real duel or whatever that has the type, but it's still not guaranteed that will happen. So you might not want to play that. Here's one. Slither Blade can't be blocked. Here's another good one. I do like mana dumps, so let's put that one in as well. Skulk. Yeah, that's a good one. Skulk, if you don't remember what it does, it means that can't be blocked by creatures with greater power. I think they tested it out to see if they could make it a evergreen, but that didn't happen. Haven't seen any of it since it was first spoiled. But okay, let's see what our situation is with our deck currently. So let's go here. Now we have 12 creatures that have one CMC 1. We do want more. So not necessarily many more, but a few more. Like, I don't know, 15. Sounds good to me. Which means that, what else do we need? Let's see what we can find if we add type creature. So what I'm doing here is you can look at the advanced search and you can get a lot of different options. But what that basically does is this is just basically a shortcut for that. So CI means color identity is less than blue and black. So that means that colorless is fine, blue is fine, black is fine. Also CMC, obviously, what is now the mana value used to be converted mana cost. So that's 2 if we're moving into that. And type creature. There's okay. Let's add format equals commander. $815. Okay, we definitely have to. I'm not gonna go through however many pages that is. 14 pages. So let's see. O meaning oracle, meaning the text. Let's see, creatures with flying. That's 156. Okay, that's better. Baleful Strix, obviously. I love Baleful Strix, one of my favorite cards. Just so efficient. Just so extremely efficient. What else? Do we want Augury Owl? Nah. 2 mana is too much. Cavern Harpy. That seems like an interesting card. Dimension Infiltrated. That's interesting. We probably can't use the activated ability, so it's probably not going to be good. But it is interesting. Fairy Vandal also has Flash. Flash seems interesting to me, but because I do like playing on other people's turns. Just, especially when you're playing black and blue, it often means that, of course, people are going to think you have the worst possible thing in your hand. Hypnotic Sprite. Do I want that? Yes, I do. Let's put the Hypnotic Sprite in the deck. Being able to counter spells with CMC 3 or less is not often good in EDH, but it is repeatable. That I do like. So let's have that in our deck. Okay, Order of Midnight. Another one that we are definitely interested in returning to our hand. So that's a good one. So actually, there's more of these 2 mana cost things than I expected, at least right now. Oh, here's another one I like very much, Shipwreck Singer, but in general, it's just not good enough, just not impactful enough, even though I do definitely like it quite a bit. Okay, so here's one that has flash that's very good, Spectral Adversary. We can use that in many different situations. The flexibility is not always nice. Spellstutter Sprite. And definitely another interesting one. I probably being able to counter maybe sometimes CMC2, most of the time CMC1 doesn't seem very appropriate. But Stratus Dancer, on the other hand, seems very good. Of course, that depends on what other people in your play group have seen you play. So if If people already know that you like to play Stratus Dancer, it's not going to be very good because people are going to be expecting it. And obviously, the second time people are already going to be expecting it. But, well, doesn't really matter. But let's try another. Okay, so how about can't be blocked? I can immediately come up with something. Blighted Agent. Nah. I do like Daring Saboteur, but it's just not good. Tiffin Infiltrator. That's more interesting. Invisible Stalker. That's a good one. Krydo might be interesting, but I don't think so. Tetsuko, obviously. Okay, Yuanti Malison, let's put that into the deck as well. Although now I do think that I have to make some cuts, but not to worry. And I just came up with a creature I might want to play. Do I want to play Wharf Infiltrator? Nah. But okay, so one thing I do like to do is that when I play a specific commander, I like to look at cards that I can only play with this specific color combination, because there's a chance that I might not have very many opportunities to play those cards in some other contexts. So if I want specifically something that's blue and black and type creature, let's see what we can find. Okay, Baleful Strix that we have already. Contraband Kingpin. Nah. Why would I even think about that? Fathom Feeder. Well, the Death Dots sort of gives it pseudo evasion. The opponent at least has to think about whether they want to sacrifice a creature to block it or not. Yeah, and okay, so this goes into the Dark Mystic Club as well, because I just enjoy that card. Anything else? Okay, so if there's a lot of queen players, which is definitely the most common, well, a very common color in many play groups, you might want to use the Woodlost Crawler, but if not, then it's not going to be very good. But okay, let's go back to the deck. What does the deck look like right now? Okay, so I have 24 creatures, which I do believe I need to cut some. So let's edit. I definitely don't want 24. 20 maybe. Not sure, but okay, changing outcast. I'm not gonna take out Dark Mystic. I'm not gonna take out Ferriseer. Not gonna take out Imposter. I'm not gonna take out Gingerbread. That we can take out. Siren, no. Lantern Bearer. Do I want to take that out? Yes. It's an undock hand. Let's take that out as well. Slither Blade can't be blocked. I don't want to take that out. Spectre Sailor is again good mana dump, so I don't want to take that out. Cutthroat, let's remove that. Baleful Strix, Cavern Harpy, Spectral Adversary, no, Satislancer, Warkite, Marauder, Dimir Infiltrator, no, Invisible Stalker. Maybe I do want to take out the Dimir Infiltrator. Does it actually do what we want it to do? It does have Transmute, so we can get the Invisible Stalker with it, if nothing else. Or since I do like to play a lot of interaction, you can get like 2-mana removal spell or maybe negate or something, or counter spell, whatever. Well, Transmute as a sorcery is a bit problematic with counter spells, but is the Malison good enough? Venturing is not that good, and especially since it needs to deal combat damage, and that's not what we're doing here. What we're doing here is trying to ninjutsu, so let's take that out. It would be a fun card, fun addition to the deck, but I don't think so. So that gives us 19, and in general, I don't want to play this many 1 and 2 drops in an EDH deck, but on the other hand, we are going to be using a lot of mana in this deck. Now, the good thing about this deck, well, we definitely want to play our commander on turn 3 because we want to be able to use the ninjutsu on turn 4. So the thing is, I'm not sure we have time for ramping. Depends on the meta, of course. Sometimes we just need to ramp, so it's not like we can just say that no, we're not going to be doing any ramping here. But so we can, and obviously I don't want to pay more mana for creatures with the ninjutsu ability than we otherwise would. But let's start with creatures. CI, again, color identity is blue or black or some combination or colorless. And we want type is creature, and we want cards that mention the word combat damage, preferably to a player. Well, I didn't think about this beforehand, but previously, but I do think Alrund might be something that we want to have in our deck. So let's do that. Do we want Ashling? Yes, we do want Ashling. Is the do we want Pansy of the Dread Choir? Nah. Maybe Blizzard Spectre. Ah, Bone Dancer, that one we want. Yes, Bone Dancer, that's a good one. Nice one. But perhaps a little bit too powerful for our purposes, because I do want to keep my decks at least somewhat fun. Because I am going to be, well, in general, I want the games to be interesting rather than just snowballing. Broodbird Viper might be nice. What else? What else? Hmm. Okay, Dream Stealer. Is that a good one? We'll get back to that. Okay, Etrata. That's a good one. Let's do that. Fallen Shinobi. That seems like a good one. Do we have any humans in our deck? Not sure. Do we want Field of the Shadows? Again, it's a good card, an interesting card. Well, I don't think it's extremely powerful, but it's a card that I generally don't want to play because people don't want me to play cards from their deck. That's just not something that people enjoy. People find it that frustrating, even though as a power, it's as an ability, it's not that good because obviously um, my deck has been built on synergies, so this ability is worse than um, just drawing a card. Plus, um, it doesn't fix my mana in any way. Do I want Fell Shepherd? It's difficult to use, but it's big. So yeah, it's it's just a card I would like to try out. And it definitely does have its uses. Cast Lord of Fugue. Okay, this one we want. I haven't put any of the other like specters thus far because discarding a card it's just more frustrating than good ability. But this one is actually a good ability. So let's do that. Grazilax we probably want. Yeah, because the first ability is also nice in this deck because we might want our creatures back in our hands in many cases. Do we need treasure tokens? I don't think so. Hellcarved Demon. Nah. Doesn't seem very good. Okay, Ink Eyes. Let's do Ink Eyes. Imri, not sure about that one. Okay, so this is one of those personal preferences things, but yeah, I do like Linealas. I do definitely like Lilian's Reaver and Lord of the Void. Yes, Lord of the Void. Let's do that. Again, it's one of those things that you might not necessarily want to do, but Master of Predicaments. That's an interesting one in the sense that it's it gives it well creates a sub game which is interesting. So yeah, let's put it in. We'll take another look when we get to that, but at this point, well, why not? Necropolis region, the interesting, it can grow quite fast. Nah. Okay, 2 cards. That's pretty good. So let's put in Orbica. Orkipa. Yeah, Orkipa can Shinobi. Why is that so hard? Rankle. Is Rankle interesting? Again, one of those things. Okay, Raving Dead. That's an easy one. Silent Blade Oni, sorry. Okay, so at some point I was trying to avoid being an asshole, but apparently that's gone. Yeah. This is going to be horrible for the opponents. Yeah, Sphinx Ambassador, the same here, same as well. Yeah, this is just our opponents are going to hate this deck so much. Days of Sanity, again, we're not making friends here. Okay, Urgoros I find a little bit interesting, but nah. Rexiel, yes, that's a good one. And Zaretsan. Was that it? Yes. So let's take a look at what we're working on currently. So now we have 38 creatures. So we have only, that means that we have 18 creatures that we want to, no, 19 creatures, right? That we want an ninjutsu into play. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Yeah, 19. So we do want some more, but we'll have to think about what else might be interesting. Like, are there enters the battlefield effect creatures that would be interesting here? Like, let's say Ravenous Chupacabra. Is that a good effect? It's just too, or is it just too complicated to use ninjas to get it into play? Is there any point to that actually? But are there other creatures that have higher casting costs that do similar things but are better bodies on when they are on the table? Ah, yes, Noxus Gearhawk, for example. Yes, that might be a good idea. Yes, let's do that. So, what I want to do, see again, CMC is more than 4, let's say, and T is again a creature, type is creature, and enters the battlefield. We have Okay, I'm seeing Ancient of Treachery right now. So yeah. Okay, this is just starting to feel painful. But let's see, do we have other things? Archon of Cruelty. Is that something we might be interested in? Nah, I don't like when these cards don't have, well, when I have no control over what happens with the cards, or very little control. So it's nice to be able to. Okay, here's two good ones. Burning Rune Demon. That's a fun card because okay, so well, again, there's the sub game, but it's also a political card because I can negotiate with an opponent when I need something specific. I can negotiate with my opponent. Okay, I can promise them that I will get like a removal spell and I will use it on a specific target, for example. So yes, did I already add it? Yes, I did. Hopefully. Yes, Cavalier of Night. That one I want as well. Yes. And I think I do want Cavalier of Gales. Do I? Hmm. No, I don't think Cavalier of Gales is very good because we do have some amount of card draw in the deck. Not necessarily too much, but some. What does Chancellor of Spires do? I do remember playing this at some point. Yes, Chancellor of Spires. That one we want. Which probably means that we also want what's it called? The why can't I remember the card names anymore? It was in the cycle where the green one got banned. Okay, we'll find it. No no worries there. Ah, there it is. Diluvian Primordial. That oh well. Yeah, that's another way of adding cards to the deck. Draining Welk does have an interesting enters the battlefield ability, but not necessarily. Dream Eater is also interesting, but not necessarily for this specific deck. I just like it. Geist of Regret, what is this? Ah, it's an alchemy card. No, we don't want alchemy cards in our deck. I do like Guild Beef Winnower. So let's add that to the deck. Gray Merchant. Do we want that? It could be something. Or on the other hand, we're probably already our opponents probably already hate us, so I don't think that's a good idea. Well, yeah, it's a good card, but I don't think this just isn't the style of deck I want to play it in. To Inspired Sphinx. That seems interesting to me, so I've never even seen that before, but here we are. Oh, Massacre Girl and Massacre Worm. Definitely. I also want Meteor Golem because I do like, because it destroys any non-land permanent an opponent controls. So I do want these kinds of effects, at least the one in the deck. What else? Oh yeah, Noxus Gearhawk. You know, just to give us that little bit of removal. There was Noxus Gearhawk there. Riddlemaster Sphinx, maybe. Nah. Do we have any zombies in the deck? Not, at least not enough. Runescarred Demon is always interesting to me, so let's do that. And the other Primordial, yes, that is interesting as well. Cyro Stagnation. I found that it's not that good in general, but if you're able to get it easily on turn 4, it might be. Nah. Sphinx of Uthul. Let's try that one. Tetsimok. Yes, let's do the Tetsimok thing. It's kind of expensive, but on the other hand, you can. I think you can do a lot with it. So yeah, why not? Torgarwood is kind of interesting as well. But now, let's see, can we find anything else? I do think that we do have quite a few cards, quite enough of these effects. Okay, so I have 53 creatures in the deck, and the curve is quite high, which I generally don't like. But at the same time, well, currently we're very dependent on our commander remaining on the battlefield. So there's that. But we do have some card draw. We do have some other ways of gaining advantage over our opponent by gaining card advantage by stealing their cards, stealing their creatures, some even casting their cards, or just other things like that. We do have some interaction in the form of creatures, like, well, creatures that destroy creatures by other players. Even Massacre Girl can. It will probably hit us worst because we do have a lot of 1/1s in the deck, or creatures with only 1 toughness. As you can see, quite a few of those. And well, Massacre Worm, well, yes, I do like that. I do have a feeling that some of these need to be cut. So what I'll cut is, okay, let's go to editing mode. I am going to cut. Runescarred Demon is very good, but we already have a Burning Rune Demon, so we can afford to cut one of these. Let's clean it up. So what the cleanup does, it just reorders the creatures, because now we weren't seeing these in the CMC order or mana value order, but now we do. So Sphinx Ambassador, do we want that? What does it do? I already read it previously. Yeah, let's keep that. I'll take out just to cut something so that we have some room for extra. Okay, so what I'm not putting into the deck is ramp, which is obviously kind of bad in general. But on the other hand, what's going to happen with this deck is that I want to have a creature in play on turn 2, and I want to be able to play my commander on turn 3, and I want to be able to activate Ninjutsu on turn 4. So we're very dependent on our commander. If our commander dies, we're not going to be doing very good for a while. I'm also taking the Fell Shepherd out. I would like to try it out, but the problem is that it's just too unreliable in what it's doing, and I do need to make some cuts. So yeah, there's that. Anything else we want to cut? Let's take this one out as well. It's just it's an interesting concept, but it's just not that good. Alrund is excellent in this deck. Spectral Adversary, Teeth of Sanity. Yeah, there is a general problem that we do have a lot of things that do something with our opponent's deck, which again means that we lose some of the synergies we might otherwise have. Okay, so now we're at 50 cards, 1 commander and 49 non-lands. So I think we can function. I do want a lot of lands. Let's say I want 45 lands, which leaves us room for five more cards. But what could those cards be? Okay, so I do want to put in. I'm not going to put in. I'm not going to put in Mana Drain because I do want to keep this at least a little bit budget. Okay, so yeah, we're done editing, and so I do want to have negate in the deck. I just find negate. People don't expect it, so you can leave up mana that doesn't look like counterspell and be able to use it, but doesn't mean that I'm not going to play counterspell in the deck. Obviously, I'm going to play counterspell in the deck. Otherwise, I do want a few removal spells, kind of generic counter spells that I can use to interaction. Just I do have some creatures with ETP effects that kill other creatures, but on top of that, I do want some kind of generic removal. So Go for the Throat is a good one. And what else? Oh yes, since we are playing the deck we're playing and we have the ability to return some of our creatures back to our hands, another good one is what's it called? Why can't I remember its name? It's a 2/3 type toughness, well, power 2, toughness 3 type zombie. It's a rare. Murderous Rider, that's it. That's a good one. So let's add that. And this leaves room for one more removal spell. My instinct is to put in counter spell, but no, I don't need counter spell. Cast down, but since it doesn't hit legendary creatures, it's not going to be very good. So let's put in Price of Fame. Or was that its name? Yes, that's it. So now we have 51, 54. Oh, I didn't add the Go for the Throat, obviously. So let's add that. Okay. I'm not going to go through the lands I would add to this deck. But again, this leaves room for 45 lands, which is a fine number. You can maybe have 40 lands and some ramp or some artifacts to make sure that some artifact ramp. But in general, since that's going to cut into your curve, because you do want a quite specific curve of having something on turn 2 in play, a creature with evasion, and you want your commander on turn 3, and then on turn 4 you want to preferably be able to play like a 7-drop. Like Lord of the Void would be very nice on turn 4, or Inspired Sphinx, or whatever. Doesn't a lot of different ones. Well, maybe not Angel of Treachery or Diluvian Primordial. They might not do a lot of work. Or Sepulchral. How do you pronounce that? But anyway, a lot of these you might want on turn 4. There might be a lot of card advantage. I'm not sure. So you might want to play Reliquary Tower, and you probably want around 50-50 on the colors. But you also want to have a lot of lands that come into play untapped, or have the opportunity to come into play untapped, because you don't want to lose tempo because you're playing some cheap guild gates or whatever. So which might mean that you might want a lot of basics. You can have some lands that come into play tapped, because you might either play that on turn 1. Well, you can play that on turn 1 or turn 2, one of them, if that means that you can still get a creature into play on turn 1 or turn 2. So yeah, that's it. Thanks for listening, and I don't know, maybe I'll do this again, maybe in the near future. I don't know, we'll see. But thanks for listening anyway.